The morning sun shone gently over the rocky plateau, casting long shadows across the alien landscape. Small clouds of mist hovered near the ground, curling around the jagged stones like soft fingers. Among them, a tiny dragon hatchling lay curled up, trembling and whimpering. Its scales shimmered with shades of green and blue, and its large, intelligent eyes were squeezed shut in pain. Every breath it took made a low, pitiful sound, and its tiny claws dug nervously into the dirt. Across the clearing, Alex, a young human medic and explorer, noticed a movement. He had been examining mineral samples when he heard the faint cries. At first, he thought it might be a wind-blown rock or a small animal trapped under debris, but then he saw the tiny creature shaking and heard the soft whimpers. He froze for a moment, staring at the dragon, unsure how to approach. Dragons were rare on this planet, and most humans kept their distance, respecting their size and potential danger. But something in the hatchling's eyes drew him closer. It wasn't aggressive or wild. It was frightened and hurt. Alex swallowed his hesitation and slowly walked toward the small creature, keeping his hands visible to show he meant no harm. The dragon let out another whimper, curling tighter into a small ball. Alex crouched down a few feet away, careful not to startle it. "Hey, there, little one," he said softly. His voice was calm, soothing. "I see you're in pain. I can help." The dragon twitched its wings and looked up briefly, its golden eyes reflecting the sunlight. Then it winced and closed them again, clearly unsure. Alex took a slow breath and moved closer, speaking quietly all the while. "I won't hurt you. I just want to help. Can I take a look?" He stretched out a hand slowly, palm up. The dragon flinched, but it didn't flee. Alex noticed that its tiny teeth poked out from its small mouth, and one of them seemed to be at an odd angle. He guessed immediately. The hatchling had a tooth causing pain, probably stuck or growing incorrectly. Kneeling carefully beside the dragon, Alex observed the little creature's body. Its wings twitched nervously, tail curled tightly, and small scales around the mouth were slightly discolored. "Okay, we'll take it slow," he murmured. He reached into his satchel and pulled out a small cloth and a pair of tools, simple but effective for delicate work. The dragon's eyes widened as he set them gently on the ground, but Alex stayed still, letting it examine the items with its own eyes. For a long moment, the hatchling only trembled. Alex whispered softly, "You're safe. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to make it better." The dragon blinked slowly, a sign that it was listening, trying to understand. Alex took another deep breath, remembering what he had learned from humans. Patience could overcome fear, even in creatures far larger or stronger. He stretched out a hand again, this time letting the dragon sniff it. The little creature sniffed cautiously, then pulled back slightly. Alex smiled, a gentle warmth at his chest. "Good. That's a start. We're going to fix this, little one." He reached for the dragon's head slowly, brushing a hand along its scales in a comforting motion. The hatchling flinched but did not pull away completely. It was progress. Alex studied the tooth carefully. It was sharp, small, and slightly crooked, clearly causing discomfort when the dragon tried to eat or even yawn. He knew he had to be careful. Dragons, even hatchlings, were sensitive, and a wrong move could cause more pain. He held the cloth in one hand and gently lifted the corner of the dragon's mouth with the other, speaking softly all the while. "Almost there. I just need to look closely." The dragon let out a small hiss, more from fear than aggression, and Alex froze for a heartbeat. He waited, allowing the creature to calm itself. Slowly, the hatchling relaxed, trusting him enough to stay still. Alex took a closer look at the tooth. It was indeed the problem, poking into the gum at an awkward angle. He knew he would need to remove it carefully, but for now, observation and reassurance were the first steps. "See? Nothing is going to hurt you here," he whispered. He brushed his hand along the hatchling's back, feeling the small vibrations of fear mixed with curiosity. The dragon tilted its head, studying him, as if trying to understand why a human would care for it. Alex smiled softly. Humans were small, but their courage and care could make a big difference, even to creatures that towered over them in strength. Time passed slowly. Alex stayed with the dragon, keeping his voice gentle and his movements deliberate. The hatchling began to relax more, breathing evenly and lowering its trembling wings. Its tail uncurled slightly, and it even attempted to nuzzle his hand. Alex's heart lifted. Trust was being built. Finally, he whispered, "Tomorrow, we'll fix that tooth, okay? I promise it will hurt less, and then you'll be able to eat and play without it hurting." The dragon blinked at him, a faint chirp of acknowledgement escaping its small mouth. Alex knew the little one didn't fully understand, but the promise of care and protection had reached it. That was enough for now. He stayed with the hatchling until the sun dipped lower in the sky, providing warmth and comfort. As night approached, Alex carefully covered the dragon with a soft cloth, letting it rest safely. The pain was still there, but the creature's fear had eased. Alex knew that tomorrow, with patience, care, and his human ingenuity, he could help the dragon fully. As he walked back to the human settlement, he thought about the day. Humans were small in the galaxy, often underestimated, but their courage, intelligence, and heart allowed them to make a difference, to protect and to nurture. The hatchling might be tiny and fragile, but together, human and dragon had begun a bond that could change both their lives forever. And somewhere in the quiet of the alien forest, the little dragon rested, its mind perhaps wondering about the strange, gentle human who had chosen to help rather than harm. Tomorrow it would face the tooth, but tonight it slept safely, wrapped in trust and the promise of care. The next morning, the alien sun rose in a soft orange glow, painting the rocky plateau in warm light. The little dragon hatchling stirred under the cloth Alex had carefully draped over it, blinking its large, bright eyes. It was calmer now, though a faint whimper escaped whenever it tried to move its tiny jaw. Alex approached quietly, carrying a small satchel filled with tools, cloths, and a few items he had improvised the night before. He crouched down beside the dragon, keeping his hands open and visible. "Good morning, little one," he said softly. "Are you ready to let me help today?" The hatchling blinked and tilted its head, its eyes reflecting curiosity and hesitation. It took a small step toward him, and Alex smiled. That was enough to know it trusted him a little more than yesterday. Alex examined the tooth again. It was small, pointed, and slightly crooked. In a human, he could use simple pliers or a dental tool, but this dragon's tiny mouth was far more delicate, and its scales were sensitive. He knew a normal approach would cause pain or fear, so he had to be creative. His mind raced, thinking of materials he had brought and what he could use without frightening the hatchling. He pulled out a small piece of soft, pliable metal he had found in the settlement's lab. With careful hands, he bent it into a tiny hook, small enough to fit the hatchling's mouth. He also prepared a small, soothing device that emitted low-frequency vibrations, something he had seen calm other animals. The goal was to distract and relax the dragon while he worked. "See, little one? Nothing scary," he whispered, placing the vibrating device gently on the ground. The dragon's ears twitched at the hum, and it lowered its body closer to the ground. Alex took a soft cloth and wrapped it around his hand, creating a gentle padding in case the hatchling flinched. Then he held out the tiny hook tool. "Just a peek, okay? I'm not going to hurt you." The dragon watched, blinking slowly. It sniffed the tool carefully, then hissed softly, but did not back away. Alex took that as a sign of cautious trust. Using his other hand, he gently lifted the side of the hatchling's mouth. The dragon flinched but stayed still, as if sensing he meant no harm. Alex carefully positioned the hook against the tooth. The hatchling let out a small whimper, but the low hum from the device seemed to soothe it. Alex spoke in a calm, steady voice. "Almost there, just a little bit, and it will feel better." He applied slow, precise pressure, working with patience rather than force. He adjusted the angle carefully, ensuring the tool didn't scrape the gums or hurt the surrounding scales. At one point, the dragon shifted slightly, and Alex froze. A sudden movement could undo trust. He held still, letting the hatchling relax again. "I know it's scary. I know it hurts. I'm right here with you," he said softly. Slowly, the dragon allowed him to continue, inch by inch. Alex's ingenuity, his tools, his vibrations, and his careful strategy was working. Finally, he felt the tooth loosen. The hatchling twitched its wings and let out a small squeak, but Alex kept his voice soft and steady. "Almost done. Little one, just a tiny bit more." With one final careful motion, the tooth came free. Alex quickly wrapped it in the soft cloth and held it up. The dragon's eyes widened and a faint trill escaped its mouth, a sound of relief and surprise. Alex smiled, gently rubbing the hatchling's back. There, all better. You did so well. The hatchling tentatively nuzzled his hand, feeling the difference immediately. Its pain was gone, replaced by curiosity and a newfound trust. Alex noticed it moving its mouth, opening and closing it without discomfort for the first time. He had succeeded not with brute force, but with patience, intelligence, and careful improvisation. After the procedure, Alex prepared a small meal of soft, easy-to-chew food for the hatchling. He guided it gently toward the food, and the dragon took its first bites without hesitation. The human watched with quiet pride. This small act, solving a problem no one else had attempted, showed the power of human ingenuity. Humans might be smaller than dragons, slower or weaker in some ways, but their minds and creativity could achieve incredible things. Lyra, the hatchling's mother, observed from a distance. She had stayed nearby but had allowed Alex to work, her massive body coiled protectively yet respectfully. Now she stepped closer, nuzzling her hatchling with soft, approving gestures. Alex watched the exchange with a sense of accomplishment. The trust he had earned extended beyond the hatchling to its parent. He cleaned his tools, carefully storing them away, and looked at the dragon family with quiet admiration. See, little one, humans can help in ways you might not expect, he said softly. The hatchling chirped and nudged his hand again, as if understanding in its own way. Alex smiled, realizing that intelligence and compassion could bridge species, even when the differences seemed vast. As the sun climbed higher, Alex stayed with the hatchlings and Lyra, observing their interactions and making small adjustments to ensure their comfort. The dragon had been in pain yesterday, but today, thanks to human ingenuity, it was safe, relieved, and beginning to bond with a species that had seemed strange and small to it. Alex thought about the bigger picture. Humans often face challenges in the galaxy, underestimated because of their size or appearance. Yet with creativity, patience, and empathy, they could overcome difficulties no matter how unusual or dangerous. A small human hand had removed a dragon's tooth, a task that required not strength, but intelligence and care. That simple act was proof. Human courage and ingenuity could create trust, save lives, and leave a mark even among beings far larger and more powerful. As the dragon finished its meal, it chirped again, hopping closer to Alex's side. He laughed softly and ruffled its small scales. Good job, little one. You're going to be strong and smart, and I'll be here if you need me. Lyra nudged the hatchling gently, her eyes showing approval, while Alex realized that this was the beginning of something larger, a bond that would grow, a story of courage, care, and human ingenuity that might someday echo across the stars. The days stretched on, filled with quiet companionship and cautious exploration. The hatchling moved confidently, testing its mouth and claws without pain. Alex sat nearby, proud and patient, knowing that humans had once again proven that heart and mind could achieve what might seem impossible. And somewhere deep in the alien forest, a tiny dragon learned for the first time that humans could be trusted, not just to survive, but to care, protect, and solve problems in ways that inspire respect and wonder. The morning air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of alien flowers and minerals across the plateau. The little dragon hatchling stirred in the soft cloth Alex had prepared for it, blinking its bright eyes and stretching its tiny wings. Today was the day Alex would perform the delicate procedure to remove the tooth that had caused so much pain. He approached slowly, hands visible, speaking in a gentle, calm voice. "Good morning, little one," Alex said softly. "Are you ready to let me help you?" The hatchling's ears twitched at his words, and it tilted its head, watching him carefully. Though it still looked nervous, it took a small step forward. That cautious trust gave Alex a surge of confidence. He had to be careful. One wrong move could break that trust and cause more pain. Alex pulled out the small padded cloth and the hooked tool he had fashioned the day before. Beside him, a low-frequency vibration device hummed softly, meant to soothe and distract the hatchling during the procedure. He knelt calmly, letting the dragon sniff the tools first. The hatchling huffed, curiosity mingled with wariness, but it did not recoil. "See? Nothing scary," Alex whispered. "Just a little peek, and it will feel better soon." He wrapped the dragon's head gently with the soft cloth, leaving its mouth exposed. The dragon squirmed slightly, but he kept his voice steady, stroking its scales softly. "Almost there, just stay calm. I'm right here." Alex carefully inserted the hooked tool near the crooked tooth, using the vibration device to distract the dragon's senses. The hatchling let out a small squeak, flinching slightly, but stayed mostly still. Alex adjusted his grip, holding the tool with precision. One wrong angle could hurt the delicate gums, so he moved inch by inch, slow and deliberate. As he worked, Alex spoke softly. "I know it's scary. I know it hurts. But you're strong, little one. We can do this together." The dragon's wings twitched nervously and its tail flicked. Alex froze for a heartbeat, letting it relax before continuing. Patience was key. He had learned that fear could make even a small procedure dangerous with a creature like this. The tool caught the tooth just right. Alex applied gentle, careful pressure, testing the resistance. The dragon's eyes widened, and it let out a soft trill, a mix of pain and surprise. "Almost done. Just a tiny bit more," Alex whispered. He steadied his hands and took a slow breath, focusing entirely on the procedure. With one final, delicate motion, the tooth loosened and came free. Alex quickly wrapped in the soft cloth, holding it up to show the hatchling. The little dragon blinked in shock, then let out a soft chirp of relief. Its wings relaxed, and it moved its mouth experimentally, discovering that the pain was gone. Alex smiled, brushing the hatchling's scales gently. "They're all better," he said. "You did so well." The dragon tilted its head, letting out a low trill that sounded like gratitude. It nuzzled his hand carefully, testing trust and comfort. Alex laughed softly, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. His patience, ingenuity, and careful hands had worked. The hatchling was free from pain, and a bond had formed between them. Alex stayed close, giving the dragon time to recover. He prepared a small portion of soft, easy-to-eat food and guided the hatchling toward it. The little creature ate eagerly, testing its mouth without discomfort for the first time. Alex watched closely, ensuring everything went smoothly. He realized that sometimes the most important victories were small, personal moments like this, where human ingenuity and care could make a lasting difference. Lyra, the hatchling's mother, observed from a short distance. She had allowed Alex to work, her massive form coiled protectively yet respectfully. Now she stepped closer, nuzzling her hatchling with approval. Alex noticed the gentle exchange and felt a quiet pride. The trust he had earned with the hatchling extended to the mother, showing that humans could create bonds even across species. After the procedure, Alex cleaned his tools and stored them carefully. He sat back, watching the hatchling move its mouth freely, exploring its environment without pain. The small dragon hopped closer, chirping softly, and Alex ruffled its scales affectionately. "You're going to be strong and smart, little one. And I'll be here if you need me," he whispered. The sun climbed higher in the sky, warming the plateau. Alex stayed nearby as the hatchling explored, testing its wings and claws now that it was free from pain. The bond between human and dragon grew stronger with every careful interaction. Alex thought about how humans often face challenges in the galaxy. Though small in size, they could solve problems creatively, act with courage, and bring comfort to creatures larger and stronger than themselves. For the hatchling, today had been a turning point. Pain and fear had dominated its world yesterday, but now, thanks to human ingenuity and care, it was free to move, eat, and trust. Alex had shown that intelligence, patience, and empathy could overcome fear and discomfort, creating bonds that could last a lifetime. As the day went on, the hatchling chirped, hopped, and explored around Alex, testing its newfound freedom. Lyra stayed close, watching cautiously but with approval. Alex smiled, realizing that this was just the beginning of their relationship. The trust and care shared today would shape the future. Human courage and ingenuity proving that even the smallest beings could have a profound impact on the lives of others across species and worlds. And somewhere in the quiet of the alien plateau, the little dragon learned for the first time that humans could be more than mere visitors. They could be helpers, friends, and protectors, a revelation that would echo through the bond they had begun today. The afternoon sun spilled golden light across the plateau, warming the rocks and the small patch of soft ground where the little dragon hatchling explored. Its tiny wings twitched as it hopped carefully over the uneven surface, testing its strength and balance. Alex sat nearby, watching with a quiet smile. The hatchling was no longer trembling with pain, but there was still a cautious curiosity in its eyes. Alex reached into his satchel and pulled out a small cloth, dampened with clean water. "Time for a little care, little one," he said softly. The dragon paused, tilting its head, and chirped softly. It didn't run away, but there was a flicker of nervousness in its eyes. Alex approached slowly, crouching low and keeping his hands visible. "See? Nothing to worry about," he whispered. He let the hatchling sniff his hand before gently wiping along its small wings and back. The little dragon twitched slightly at first, but then relaxed as he spoke in calm tones. Its wings lowered, and it nuzzled his hand gently, testing trust again. Alex smiled. "That's it. See, care can feel nice, right?" He continued to clean the hatchling carefully, brushing its small scales and checking for any signs of irritation. Every now and then, the dragon chirped softly, making small, curious movements. Alex realized that the creature was beginning to understand his intentions, not just the actions, but the care and attention behind them. After cleaning, Alex prepared a small treat. He had gathered soft fruits and protein-rich insects from nearby, items he knew would be easy for the hatchling to eat and gentle on its newly freed mouth. "Here you go," he said, placing the food in a small dish. The dragon sniffed, then cautiously took a bite. Its small mouth moved carefully, chewing without pain. Alex watched, feeling a quiet pride. Today wasn't just about removing a tooth. It was about building trust, showing that humans could provide care and comfort. Lyra, the hatchling's mother, observed from a short distance. Her massive head lowered slightly as she watched her offspring eat. Alex spoke softly to her as well. "I'm not here to harm you, Lyra. I'm helping your little one feel better." Lyra blinked slowly, her eyes filled with cautious understanding. She inched closer, letting the hatchling feel secure under her watchful presence. With the food finished, Alex encouraged gentle play. He picked up a small, lightweight ball and rolled it slowly toward the hatchling. The dragon's ears twitched, and it hopped forward, nudging the ball with its snout. Alex clapped softly and laughed. "Good job. You're getting stronger every day." The hatchling chirped excitedly and nudged the ball back. For the first time, it seemed fully comfortable exploring and interacting without fear. Over the next few hours, Alex continued to interact with the hatchling, speaking softly, offering gentle touches, and showing patience with every movement. He guided it in small exercises, stretching wings, testing claws on soft ground, and practicing small hops. The dragon began to mirror some of his movements, watching his hands, and reacting with curiosity rather than fear. Alex realized that patience and gentle care were forging a bond stronger than any force could achieve. He also taught the hatchling to respond to simple cues. "Up," he said, and the dragon lifted its tiny body slightly. "Stay," he whispered, and it crouched carefully on the ground. The dragon's ability to follow these simple instructions amazed Alex. It wasn't just instinct or fear. It was understanding, attention, and trust built through careful human care. As the sun dipped lower, the plateau glowed with soft orange and purple hues. Alex sat beside the hatchling, letting it curl up next to him. He stroked its small head and spoke softly. "You've done so well today. You're strong, smart, and brave, and I'll always be here to help you." The dragon chirped softly and nuzzled his hand, a clear sign that the bond between them had grown deeper. Lyra stepped closer, her presence gentle but protective. She allowed the hatchling to rest against Alex's side, showing trust in the human who had eased her child's pain. Alex looked at the mother and child, understanding that care and patience had bridged the gap between species. What had started as a simple act of aid had become the foundation of trust, respect, and mutual understanding. Night began to fall, and the temperature dropped. Alex built a small fire, its warmth comforting to both humans and dragons. He wrapped the hatchling in the soft cloth once more, letting it rest near the fire. The dragon's breathing was steady, and its body relaxed completely against him. Alex whispered softly, "Rest easy, little one. You're safe. And tomorrow we'll continue to grow stronger together." He gazed at the stars above, feeling a quiet awe. Humans were small and fragile in comparison to dragons, but their ingenuity, patience, and care allowed them to achieve remarkable things. Today had proven that courage and compassion could build bonds that transcended fear, size, and species. The hatchling had learned that humans could be allies, protectors, and friends. Alex stayed by the hatchling's side through the night, watching it sleep peacefully. He realized that this bond was only the beginning. There would be more challenges, but also more opportunities to demonstrate care and courage. For the first time, the little dragon had fully experienced human kindness, and Alex understood that such trust and connection were more powerful than any force or weapon in the galaxy. By the time the first light of dawn touched the plateau, Alex knew that their bond had been solidified. Through careful attention, patience, and human ingenuity, he had earned the trust of a creature larger, stronger, and wiser than himself. The hatchling slept peacefully, knowing it was safe, cared for, and understood. And Alex knew that the lessons of today, care, patience, and courage, would shape not only this dragon's life, but the path of a unique friendship that had only just begun. The morning sun rose over the alien plateau, casting warm light across the rocks and the small clearing where Alex and the little dragon, hatchling, had spent the previous day. The hatchling stirred, blinking its bright eyes and stretching its wings carefully. It looked healthier, stronger, and more confident than it had the day before. Alex smiled as he watched it move, proud of the progress they had made together. "Good morning, little one," he said softly. The dragon chirped in response, hopping closer to him without hesitation. It nudged his hand with its tiny snout, a gesture of trust and recognition. Alex reached into his satchel and brought out a few small, soft treats, offering them one by one. The hatchling ate eagerly, testing its newly healed mouth. Alex laughed softly. "See? You're stronger every day. Humans can help in ways you might not expect." Lyra, the hatchling's mother, approached quietly, her massive head lowered in a protective yet approving manner. Alex spoke softly to her. "I'm here to help, not harm. We're all on the same side." Lyra's eyes reflected cautious understanding. She circled the hatchling, giving it comfort, while allowing Alex to remain near. This mutual trust had taken time to earn, but was a clear sign that human care and patience could create bonds even with beings far larger and more powerful. Over the next few hours, Alex guided the hatchling through gentle exercises. He encouraged small flights over the soft ground, careful stretches of its wings, and playful hopping around small rocks. The hatchling responded eagerly, chirping and trilling, testing its strength and flexibility. Alex watched carefully, providing support only when necessary. The dragon's newfound confidence reflected both its own courage and the patient care Alex had given. Alex realized that this was more than just healing a tooth. It was about creating trust, showing compassion, and using human ingenuity to solve problems that seemed impossible. The hatchling had learned that humans could be allies, protectors, and friends. It had discovered that size and strength were not the only measures of capability. Intelligence, patience, and courage could bridge the gap between species. Lyra began to participate more actively, guiding her hatchling through play and exploration. Alex observed and adjusted, learning from the dragons as much as they learned from him. He realized that true triumph wasn't just about his own actions. It was about fostering understanding, trust, and cooperation between humans and dragons. The bond they had formed was a small but powerful example of human ingenuity and compassion. As the day progressed, other creatures in the forest observed quietly, curious about the interaction between human and dragons. Alex remained patient, calm, and gentle, speaking softly to both the hatchling and Lyra. "See? We can work together. We can help each other." His words carried a simple truth. Courage and care could achieve more than fear or force. By late afternoon, the hatchling had learned to fly short distances confidently, returning to Alex or Lyra for comfort. It had eaten well, exercised its wings, and explored its environment without fear. Alex felt a deep sense of pride. This was the result of patience, careful planning, and a willingness to understand a species far different from his own. It was a small triumph, but one that had lasting significance. Alex knelt beside the hatchling, stroking its tiny scales. "You've done so well, little one," he said. Your courage and mind together made this possible. That's what humans can do. Care, create, and solve problems no one else might try. The hatchling chirped softly and nuzzled his hand, a silent acknowledgement of their shared trust. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the plateau in orange and purple hues, Alex thought about the larger implications. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy, seen as small and fragile. Yet through intelligence, patience, and empathy, they could achieve remarkable things. Today, a human had healed a dragon, created trust, and formed a bond that would last a lifetime. That simple act echoed the potential of all humans to face challenges, bridge gaps, and leave a lasting legacy. Lyra curled around her hatchling, allowing Alex to remain close. The small dragon hopped on Alex's lap briefly, chirping and testing the feeling of safety and trust. Alex laughed softly. See? We're a team now. Humans and dragons together. He felt a warmth in his chest, a mixture of pride, joy, and the knowledge that he had made a difference. Night began to fall, and the stars appeared in the alien sky. Alex built a small fire, its warmth comforting to both himself and the dragons. He sat beside Lyra and the hatchling, watching them rest peacefully. The day had been a demonstration of courage, care, and human ingenuity, a reminder that even small beings could have a profound impact. As he looked at the hatchling, now sleeping soundly, Alex realized that this was just the beginning. The bond they had formed would grow stronger, teaching lessons of trust, understanding, and cooperation. The dragons had learned that humans could be allies, while Alex had learned the same from them. This mutual respect and care was a triumph in itself, a legacy of human courage that could echo across worlds. Finally, as the fire dimmed and night deepened, Alex whispered softly, "Rest well, little one. You're safe, cared for, and stronger than yesterday. And I'll always be here." The hatchling chirped once more, nestling close to him. Lyra lowered her massive head, eyes glowing softly in the firelight, a silent acknowledgement of trust. In that quiet, starlit moment, Alex understood the full meaning of human triumph. It was not only about courage in battle or strength in adversity. It was about patience, care, intelligence, and the ability to create bonds across worlds and species. The legacy of this day would last far longer than the immediate victory. A small human hand had healed a dragon, built trust, and proven that compassion and ingenuity could overcome fear and pain. And somewhere in the alien forest, under the watchful stars, a tiny dragon slept peacefully, knowing that humans could be more than visitors. They could be protectors, friends, and heroes.